Hey guys, Jonathan here, and we're not at Shadow Foam today. We've come down to visit John and Jess, the True Blue Travellers, who have got an epic adventure planned to the Arctic.
Yep. So it's always been a bucket list thing of ours to do, and yeah, we're off in a few weeks actually. We just built the Sainsbury's van, but we need a recovery kit in case we get stuck, basically. So this is where
and if you're
John
in the
comes
UK,
in.
you know what Sainsbury's van means. Go and check out that video series because it's epic. Tool Talk Tuesdays has been a favourite of mine. This beast of a toolbox is already pretty epically organised. That's crying out for some Shadow Foam, to be honest, John, but we're here for the get out of jail free card.
Yeah, well, when we was in Australia, we got bogged a few times on the beach, and that's when we decided every time we go somewhere like this, we need a good kit in case something goes wrong, basically.
Yeah, well, this is a bit of a beast of a box, isn't it? So this is like a Vanguard ABS case you've picked up. I'll cut some inserts to fit this case, and then you've got to figure out from all of this hoard what you're putting in there.
We might need a few more cases.
Right, I'll cut some inserts. Right, so that's the inserts all cut down. So I just used standard sheets, used a long straight edge, cut them down to the right size, and then I've radiused the corners with one of our stencil sets. So basically I just hold the radius gauge against the corner of the flight case, find the right size, match it up to the corner of the insert, and then cut it. And then you get a really nice insert that fits perfectly in the case. But for this one, because it's a tray, I've cut some handles on the side as well. And the foam's rigid enough that it should work as a tray quite well. We just have to see what's going to go in it. So that's where John comes in. Have you made any progress with the tools, John?
Well, I've whittled it down to that. So do you reckon we can work with that?
Well, I mean, I don't know if all that lot will fit in there without the foam, to be honest, but we'll... What have we got here?
So I've got, this is a jump starter pack, obviously with the headlights that you've got to be on out there. I left them on one day, so I've used that before, so I definitely want that to go in there.
Yeah, sounds definitely good.
And then we've got fold-up shovel. So again, you never know when you're going to get stuck and you need a shovel.
Do you not need a big snow shovel?
Yeah, well, that was what Jess was saying. So, but yeah, it's all space in it. So hopefully that can go in. And then we've got a soft shackle and a ring as well. So I
don't actually know what that is.
The soft shackle. So you can use a normal shackle, but basically when they go wrong, they're like a catapult. Like if that goes wrong, it goes through your windscreen. It's like a bomb going off, basically. Whereas these are a lot safer, a lot easier to use. So yeah, I definitely recommend a soft shackle over a D shackle, but
you're gonna have one in
too. So
yeah, cool. Because I've never come across one of those. To be fair, I was wondering what it was because it's nice red anodized quality item, that isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's a new trend. And then what you do, if you're recovering gear, basically you put your strap round that, or your winch around it, and then it goes 2 to 1.
Right.
So when you're winching out 1 to 1. Yeah. When you go around that, it goes 2 to 1.
Yeah,
so
double
you
strength.
can put a lot more weight and things like that. So
yeah, love it. That's cool.
And then obviously we've got the high vises. They can go in if we can.
Yeah.
And then the tools. So love the tools, but it was a bit hard working out what we wanted to put in really. But you can't beat one of these Halfords kits. But this box has been seen better days, so I didn't want to lose anything or anything like that really. So yeah, breaker bar.
Halford stuff's good. We've done a bit of that here recently. We're going to struggle for that. Might have to try and figure out putting it on an angle and maybe putting everything else around it. But that is pretty. I'm guessing this is taking the wheel nuts off and everything.
Yeah, you never know what you might need. I might have a shorter one that we could find maybe. And then just some things like pliers. I've got some electrical terminals and that because obviously we're taking the camper. There's a lot of electrical gear in there as well. So I wanted to take some bits and bobs like that. And then adjustables, good old lump hammer, and then also these. So I don't know if you know what these are.
You know what? I've seen when I've had a tyre puncture repaired. I've seen someone.
Brilliant these are. So people don't really recommend them for bikes, cars, and things like that or they're like an emergency. But I've run these in loads of different tyres for months and months, and they've never let me down. So you just pierce the tyre. If you get a screw, you pull the screw out, you pierce it with that. You put one of them wax strips in. Lasts for I've had it about 30,000 miles, still going strong. Yeah. So I definitely want one of them in the kit anyway. Stanley knife. Chisel and a punch because you never know.
Yeah, that's if the breaker bar don't work, then that's what the chisel's for, right?
And then the Halfords gear. So what I've done though is I've taken all the gear that I won't use out, so all the Imperial stuff. I know your American fans won't like that, but
don't use that over here, do we?
No,
they call it standard as well, which just doesn't make sense, does it? It's only standard to them. No one else is it's standard.
It's standard.
Well, to be fair, we're only going to know when we do the layout, so I think I can fit a good amount of that lot in there, and obviously all these items too. So yeah.
But there's one more thing as well, if you can fit in.
You're joking.
So,
flipping heck.
we got a multimeter, because again, the old electrics.
Yeah, that's fair play.
We've got to get a bungee in. We need some bungees.
Or a bag of bungees.
Yeah, and then some recovery straps as well, because...
Oh dear. That's half the case, that one strap.
I've heard you are the man for
That
sorting
could,
stuff out.
What about we hang that off that handle there on the side? Right, well, that is a heck of a challenge. So, the only way I'm going to know is doing a layout. So that's the next thing. Get these inserts on the table and do a layout. Right, so that's about as much of a layout as I can do because there is so much stuff. So this one here, I'm going to struggle basically because there's still loads of sockets left. So the only way I'm going to be able to do it is cut in the essentials and then condense it down as much as I can and then add the other stuff in the gaps. But to help, this is like the wild card, this bottom layer. It's a double deep layer. Some of the items are really big, but they do squeeze down a bit. So I'm only really going to know how much I can fit in that once I've kind of cut a few of the items in. So the plan is, cut all of this base layer first and then see how much of this stuff here I can cram in there, get as much as I can in there, and then I'll know exactly what's left to go in here. So let's get to the cutting. And when it comes to cutting shadow foam, all you need is one of our cutting kits. Now they come free with most orders. Everything we're going to be using in this video is available on shadowfoam.com. Links in the description so you can head there, get anything you need. Right, so all I need is the anti-cut glove, scalpel with the blade on, and let's get cutting. Right, so that's the bottom layer done, and I squeezed a fair bit more in there than I originally had planned. And we've got a few little quirky additions that I've not done before. So this strap here had a big section in the middle. Now I had to cut all the way through the foam, so obviously this whole piece of material cut out, but then I actually recut a piece, put it in there. It's about 50mm deep, so it is a useful piece of space. It's utilised in every nook and cranny. Same with this screwdriver, because it's so shallow, there's loads of room underneath. We actually cut like a little panel that lifts out, and then underneath there is the small strap that goes with this red anodized U-bolt. I can't remember what John called it now, but it was a clever little tool. What was it called, John, that? Can't remember. Red anodized donut, and it's a banger, that thing. Then we've also got the shovel cut in flat, and because the shovel is like quite a flat item, you're able to kind of double stack. So we've got the U-bolt underneath. Shackle bolt, that, isn't it? Shackle bolt. So that's the shackle bolt, and then we've got the spade on the top, and then we've got the meter here with the leads underneath, which means everything, all the accessories that go with these two things are underneath, so nothing's getting mixed up. Got the multimeter there with the leads underneath, and then this is the emergency power pack with the kind of the clamps underneath as well. And then the bonus items, which I didn't include before, were the electrical crimping tool. We've got the lump hammer in there, which I kind of suspected we'd get in this bottom. Then we've got a ratchet screwdriver and the knife. So now all of that's done, it gives me a clearer view of what I have to fit in this top tray. So first thing, this big old breaker bar here is a beast, and it did just about fit in at an angle, but it's taking up loads of room and it's going to make that layout really tricky. So while I was doing that, John was busy working on the camper, and he also found this, which is like an extendable breaker bar, and it just takes up a lot less room. You look at that to that, and obviously this kit's not going to be used every day, but it's going to be there as a recovery kit when he needs it. So that is a great little space saving tool, which I love. And then everything else has got to be in it, and I've got to get all the sockets in. So back to the layout. Right, Right, so that's the layout sorted. We were able to boil the kit down a little bit. Some of the hand tools were a little bit duplicated in that Halford set, so didn't need everything. So we've basically taken away the 3/8 ratchet because we had a 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch and a 3/8. So by taking the 3/8 away, a few of the sockets are 3/8, but John's added this 1/2 inch to 3/8 adapter. So that immediately saves a bunch of space. This is the set for fixing tyres, which I'm really pleased about. We've got that in there. Got all of the extensions, and we've got the wobble joint, so all of the accessories that go with the socket set are in here, and then we've got a set of 1/4 inch sockets and then a full set of 1/2 inch sockets, all the way from 32mm down to 9mm. Could do with an 8mm there, to be fair. And then that is, the 1/4 inch is 13mm down to 4mm. So full set of 1/4 inch, full set of 1/2 inch sockets, and we've got the spanners. Really good mix of tools there, really happy with that. You might have noticed I've got the GoPro on, so we're going for the Jonna View cam, the Jonna cam, and hopefully at some point, John's working on the build at the minute, but maybe if he pops past, we can get him involved, get him cutting some shadow foam. So while he's not here though, I best get back to it. Right, so I've saved a couple of items for you. I was whizzing through these. I can't say I was doing it very fast.
Yeah, well, I'm quite impressed that you managed to get it all in, to be honest, because at the beginning, when you said you was going to get it in, I was a bit like, oh, I don't know, there's a fair bit in there.
Well, bringing that big strap out and all these other big bulky items, they were the things I was like, that's unusual to cut stuff like that in foam. So once I'd had all that, this is kind of like bread and butter stuff, really. But I've saved you a couple of items so you can have a go at cutting. So we've got 3 sets of pliers left. So I've saved 3 so I can show you how to do it, and then maybe you can have a go.
Yep.
So it's the old glove on the left hand, and then I've got your scalpel, and basically you just place the item where you want it to go, and then basically you just use this like a pencil, and you're just cutting lightly into the foam. You're not going very deep, you're literally just tracing the outline onto the foam. And like I say, at this point, it doesn't matter how deep you cut, you're just capturing that outline. And you want to make sure that the blade is like 90 degrees to the foam. You're not going on like an angle like this. You go in 90 degrees, cutting straight down, all the way around. So once you've done that, you can lift the item out of the way, and you should really, when you've cut it with a sharp blade, not even be able to see where you've cut. But then you can press down on the foam and kind of show where you've cut, and you can go back. And for this, it's maybe like, 10mm. We want this sat in the foam about, so it's flush with the surface, maybe a touch above, so you're going to peel out about 8mm, 10mm worth of foam, but you can cut way past that. This is a 50mm sheet. I could cut down 20, 30mm, it wouldn't matter. You can well overcut it. You don't have to stress about how deep you've gone. You just have to make sure you've gone past how deep you want to peel it. So you go back round, following that cut. Once you've gone all the way back round, you've definitely gone met on the corners. It's then just time to peel. And for that, you can just start at any end. So like start at the top here, start here. And you're literally just pushing your finger down the end and then just peel, like, you're not peeling it like a banana where you grab it like that and just pull it all the way up. You're just chasing it along, just chasing it out like that.
Yep.
And then one thing I will show you, just because we haven't done much spinning and we haven't shown what's going on. So if you want to try and make it a bit smoother, like it's already pretty good that, but this is called a smoothing spinner. And basically it's just a 1/4 inch fitment. Clever little jig, I love it. And basically it's just got like a bit of a sharp edge, not razor sharp, but just enough that when you spin it on the foam, you can see it just takes off.
So it flattens it out sort of thing.
Yeah, and just skims off any lumps and bumps just to get a little bit of a better finish if you want it.
Yeah.
So that's a lovely little jig. And then that is done.
Ideal.
Yeah, so maybe I'll take...
simple.
Yeah, it's not bad. What do you fancy?
Well, we'll go big or go home, shall we?
Go big.
We'll do the big uns.
Just like I told them. Go big or go home.
Crack on, eh?
Yeah, give it a go. Looking good, that. Just added pressure, the silence for you. Don't know if it's worse leaving you the last one to do rather than should have given you the first one.
I was going to say, yeah, you've done this like beautifully.
Yeah, it's all done. It's like, you just do the last one, mate.
Oh, I think that's the whole outline.
Yeah, it looks good. And you've got it literally, you can't really tell the cut, so it means it's a nice clean cut.
Yeah. And then we've got to go around it again, eh?
Yeah, get it nice. You get about 20 mil down. You cut the whole depth of the blade, really. You get this looking mint and then pressure's on Jess then tomorrow.
I was a bit dubious thinking that it was going to be a bit harder than it looked, but it actually is quite easy.
Well, the cutting. Now it's just if you think the same
Now
about
the
the peeling,
pulling.
and then you've got the whole process nailed. That's it, perfect.
Tell you what, I think there's a pro at work there, wouldn't you say?
You've done well there, mate.
Give us a
I like
review,
that.
come on.
I don't even think that needs a smoothing spinner. That's how good that is. That's the final test. Stick that in there.
Job's a good one, look.
Job's a good one. So that goes on the top, and then that is pretty much more or less, I think we took a few items out. That's more or less that entire pile of stuff that got brought over. So it's going in the van somewhere.
Yep, she's going in the garage.
The garage. I love that. In van life, they call them the garage, don't they?
Yeah, I don't know why, it's just one of them quirky van life things, really.
It's a good old space, that, isn't it? Are you going to strap that in there or something?
Well, I think she'll go in there nicely with a nice little bungee around it.
Yeah, definitely. And if you've not seen this build, go and check it out. This is like a Sainsbury's delivery van. If you're in the UK, Sainsbury's is like Walmart or something. It's like a big grocery store, isn't it? And they've had these delivery trucks, and they're pretty crazy looking. Picture on screen, Matt. And these guys have transformed it into an absolute beast, and it's an amazing build. I was hooked as soon as I saw it come up on my feed. That's why I'm here doing this foam. So go and check it out. Show these guys some love. The channel link is in the description, so go and check them out.